Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by Living To Do's review of Winning Time Season 2, Episode 2. It's called The Magic is Back. This episode, we see that Magic has come off his injury time off on the DL and he's going to be playing again. And some of the players and staff are being questioned. It looks like they're being asked maybe by a reporter. We don't see the reporter, but they're sitting there being asked questions like, how do they feel about Magic being back? Well, Norm Nixon seems like he has some animosity towards Magic. He thinks the team has been doing well without Magic. And so he's being nice, but but you could tell he's irritated. I think it is because Magic was the starter, and when he got hurt, Norm Nixon became the starter, and they were doing well with the system that Paul Westhead created. It's working well without Magic, and everyone seems to be happy. Of course, they're winning games, so that's great. But everybody else is not. Not Bill, it's Jerry West. He doesn't care about the system. He's like, what system? It's basketball. He's so high strung. Uh, uh, but he's just a very high strung guy. In practice, though, Magic is getting back with the team, and when plays are being done, he's stepping on Norm Nixon's toes because, Norm is doing what he's been doing all year without Magic, and Magic is going back into the same spot that he was in before, and they literally are bumping into each other. And Paul Westhead has to bring Magic back, and he's going to try to bring him in slowly back into the fold because he's not really gelling with the system. It takes time, and this is right before playoffs, so they don't have time to waste. He's going to have to, I guess, go maybe at a slower pace than everybody else. In the locker room, there's some tension. Everybody's laughing and joking, and it seems like Magic is being sidelined. He's off to the side. They're not laughing with them. They're not filling him in and all the jokes. He feels left out. Because I guess they're a team. There's chemistry. And I guess when you leave sometimes something and life goes on and people get on without you, when you come back in, it's hard to fit you back in where you once were. Especially when they're doing so well. Now, Pat Riley, the assistant coach, is talking to Paul Westhead, the head coach, and he wants Paul to throw away the system because Magic doesn't fit in the system, and he wants to do it next year when they can work Magic into that system. But the system is working so well. Why would he throw it away? When it's not broken, then don't try to fix it. And that's too bad that he lost his spot or whatever. But it shows that Pat Riley was really behind Magic. Why? I don't know. The team's winning. Everything's great. You should be coasting. Don't worry about Magic. Magic has to get in where he fits in. I wonder how true that is, what the accurate story is behind him coming back after being hurt. Now, Jerry West, he is so excited. He wants to trade Norm Nixon for this guy named David Thompson. He's supposed to be really, really good. And Paul Westhead doesn't want to hear that. He has a system. He's working his system. The system's working well for him, and he's not interested in trading Norm. He thinks Norm is a key figure for the team. The position that he plays, the chemistry, things are working well. He thinks if he removes Norm Nixon, then that will really mess up the system, and it's not worth it for this guy, Dave, in his book anyway. So Paul just doesn't want to trade Norm. But Jerry says cash him in while while his stock is high, is what he said. And Pat agrees to this. Pat wants him gone because I think this will be a path for Magic to come back. So maybe that's why. I don't know why he's pushing Magic so much, though. There's a deadline in 2 weeks, and Paul is stalling because they're getting. Paul says no, and Jerry's all in his face about it. So he says, let him think about it. Basically that's a no. But it gives him time to get Jerry away from him while he, does some thinking. So Magic is in the locker room. They're getting ready for a game. And one of the staffers comes in with a big old box in the locker room with a bunch of t-shirts saying Magic is back, with Magic's face on the t-shirt. And Magic's already sensed that the team is not feeling him right now, and he doesn't need this extra added attention. He wants the guy to get rid of the shirts. Where there's always reporters when they're talking to the players, they're really just talking to Magic. They're so excited that he's back that all the reporters show only Magic attention, and Magic can see how the team feels. They look perturbed by this. They're standing in the back. And one reporter went up to Cap, which is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and asked him how he felt that about Magic being back. And all Kareem would say is like, you're in front of my way. You're in my way. You're in front of my locker. He didn't support Magic in his comeback. So when these T-shirts came, with Magic, saying Magic is back, it just makes the team feel really, really bad about themselves. They're the ones who've been playing all year and winning, which brought them to the playoffs. And here you come in, and everyone's happy to see you. You get the special attention, and they don't. They don't get the shine. So of course, they're a little perturbed by this. And I think Magic was just embarrassed by the attention. He wants them to be a team and feel like a team. And if, they don't want to rally behind this whole situation, then he wants to dead it. And he tries to, not wear the t-shirt, tells this guy he doesn't want to see anybody in these t-shirts, get these t-shirts away from him. He doesn't want the attention. He wants to be a team. And when he goes outside of the locker room, in the hallways back there, the corridors, whatever you call them, there's other people, I guess, cheering him on. They all have this t-shirt on that he doesn't want to see. Magic's back. They're so excited to see him. And they make their way out into the court. You hear all these cheers. Magic's back, Magic back, Magic. And the team is just annoyed. Magic goes out into the court, and the team stands back off the court while he is being greeted by the whole auditorium, the whole stadium. And at first, Magic looks at Norm, and the whole team's looking at Magic, and loving the admiration that he's getting from the crowd. And at first, he stops and he doesn't say anything, and you just see him looking at the team. And then I don't know what he felt. Maybe he didn't want to let the fans down. Maybe he wanted to stick it to his team, but he's like raising his hands up, like wanting more and appreciating the cheers for him. And so I don't know what that meant. Was he like, look, I'm here and I'm going to enjoy every moment and forget the team. You're putting me through too much. Or I don't know. I think he still felt away, but they commenced to playing. After he took in all that, all the cheers, but Magic's not playing. He's sitting on the sideline, and everyone's cheering, Magic. They want him on the team. It's stressing Paul Westhead, the head coach, out. Even Jerry busses up in the stands, and I think he's a little concerned too. This is their star player. But who cares if the team is winning? He needs to rest. You got to work in minutes anyway. But they are so excited to have Magic. And finally, Coach Paul Westhead gives in and he lets Magic play. And Magic was just blowing it left and right, left and right. And during this time, Norm had to sit down on the sidelines. And he says under his breath, well, they got what they wanted. Because he was just messing up, not being the Magic that they knew. In the game, Magic made too many he made too many turnovers, and after the game, he was in an ice bath in the locker room. But he took this ice bath after everyone left, and Pat Riley happened to be there and saw him in the bathtub in the bag or the bath of ice, I guess soaking his soreness and maybe even his knee. And Pat Riley knew what was up because he told him, you took this ice bath when everyone wasn't here, so you're not 100%. And Magic's, he thinks he's about 90, and the coach is like, no, I don't think so. He goes, okay, maybe 80. And the coach, Pat Riley, said probably 60. So he's really 60% back into shape. And Magic knows something's up. He doesn't feel like himself. And he says he doesn't feel like Magic. And Pat is giving him pep talks. You can't feel like Magic. You got to be like Magic. You got to be Magic. So they do extra practice. The two of them, one-on-one practice. Coach Riley is working with Magic Johnson. And and it's so funny, there was a reporter who knew that this was happening too. I don't know how that gets out. Because in practice, there's only the two of them there. One day after a game, Norm is leaving the locker room and he's down one of those large corridors of the underground stadium, and a reporter catches up with him about talks of a possible trade, and this is news to Norm. And he tells him, I heard you're being traded for David Thompson. How do you feel about that? And this is news to Norm. Then even the reporter says, well, it makes sense. The trade makes sense to this particular reporter. And I guess it's the position that he plays, a shooting guard or a point guard. I think he was being claimed as a shooting guard, and he says he's a point guard. He says that they lost chemistry, I guess now that Magic is back. But he says, Magic, people are going to forget Magic in 15 years. And the reporter wants to know if that's on the record. And because now he's been aware that he's going to be traded, he doesn't care. It's for the record. So the reporter prints it. The two coaches talk, Pat and Paul. They talk about Norm and trading him. And Paul doesn't want to. This is his team, and his team is in sync. And that's where he wants to be. Magic is out of rhythm, and it's going to take some time. He just needs to come in slowly, pretty much. And I think Paul Westhead has an issue with star players, big egos, because he doesn't want to acquiesce to their hubris. He thinks they have a big ego and everybody's going to have to fall in place, and he doesn't want it to dictate his coaching. That's what he really feels. Maybe I think he fears losing control, maybe. Paul asked Pat, can we trust Magic's knee? Because that's an issue. Pat wants him to play more, but he's not 100%, and the coach knows. And Pat Riley says, yes, you can, the knee's good. So reluctantly, I think Paul is going to agree to play Magic more. Later, when the paper comes out with the statement that Norm Nixon made, they're all in the office, all the coaches and GMs and what have you. It's Bill Russell's office, and he's mad about what Norm said. And I think it was Jerry West who's like, saying we can, solve this issue. We trade them, and then we get the guys back to normal, and get this new guy David in and Magic, and he thinks the team will be better for it. I don't know how much better if you're already winning. Anyway, Jerry West is excited about the deal that Paul agreed to reluctantly, to trade Norm and bring on Dave. Boy, is Jerry excited about this. And then he lets on, well, actually, Paul asked Jerry not to say anything until he talks to the team first to let them know. He wants them to hear it from him first. And Jerry's talking and talking, and he says how Magic's real excited because I guess Jerry Buss already told him about the trade. So now, all of a sudden, Paul Westhead, he grows a backbone and he says, no, off with the trade. I don't want the trade. I veto the trade. He has an issue that Magic knows, and he doesn't want people to assume that Magic is dictating the way his coaching style is and who's getting traded and whatnot. He doesn't want them to think they have an influence on that. And because Magic already knows firsthand, he thinks that they're going to think that they have some power over him, basically. So, of course, Jerry is upset. And apparently in his contract, he has any right to veto, I guess, prospects. I didn't know that was just the coach doing that. I thought the GM made those types of decisions. I didn't know if the coach actually did that. And then Jerry gets so mad, he starts to insult Paul, saying he only got this job because the former coach, McKinley, he was in a bicycle accident and he got all messed up. And at the time, Paul Westhead was the coach. So since, the coach couldn't coach, Paul Westhead became the head coach. And again, these guys are heated up. Even Paul, he's more really a meek man, but he stands up for himself. But he acts like a big baby at the same time. He acts like a grown, like a 7-year-old. And he tells Jerry West after he insulted him, "Take it back. Take it back. Take it back." There's no backsies. And how old are you? It sounds like some kids in the 50s or the 60s in a playground, and someone says something to a kid and he gets mad and take it back. Take it back. It's like, oh my God. That is so old sounding. Anyway, we have the team at the playoffs now. They're playing they're playing somebody. They're playing a team in their round one of the playoffs, third quarter. They're all out of sync. They're at home and they lose. In game 2, they're doing really, really bad. At halftime, they're just sulking in the locker room, kind of blaming each other, just getting mad. And Norm and Magic go at it. A lot has been said. This paper that he said to the reporter has come out saying that no one's going to know Magic in 15 years. It's just they're not winning because they're mad. The chemistry is gone. And they're just bickering and bickering and bickering back and forth. And surprise, surprise, Michael Cooper, who was always real meek in this whole series, a meek type of man, he gets mad. He's yelling at them. He wants them to apologize to one another, hug one another. He wants, to get the chemistry back so they can get back on the court and play ball well like they used to. And apparently it worked. I don't know. Michael Cooper became an alpha male real quick when he needed to be. And they got something going and they get back on the floor and they come in the second half and they do win that game. So after they won that game, the series is tied 1-1. And I guess they're flying to play the team on a private jet. We see them in their private jet, and Paul Westhead, the head coach, is looking at a paper where they have honored McKinley as coach of the year. And he was a great coach until he got hurt. So it was well deserved. But here we are. Paul is doing a good job this year. I think he's a little hurt by it, or maybe, I think they didn't end in the best of terms. I'm not sure, but he's just feeling nostalgic looking at the photo of his friend in the paper. And the reporter who told Norm Nixon that he was going to be traded, he's on the plane. And he walks up to Paul and he tells him, it's really great that Pat Riley was working with Magic on the slide, because that means, his leg is not as good as he says it is. Well, this is news to Paul, that Pat betrayed him. He asked Pat about the knee. Pat said the knee was okay. If it was okay, you wouldn't be doing extra practices with Magic to get him back. And somehow the reporter is under the impression that this was a whole big play, that the knee is worse than it is, and that they cut off the deal with Dave Thompson, keeping Magic as another point guard. Interesting. I don't understand that play, really. If the knee's not good and we don't know how good it is, wouldn't you want to try maybe to trade him? Even trade him for Thompson? I wonder why they never thought like that. So after Paul hears this news, he goes to Pat Riley. They're on the plane, and Pat Riley is sitting next to Magic and across from Norm Nixon and Michael Cooper. And aggressively, Paul grabs Pat and he takes him to the back of the plane and closes some curtain. There's not a door, so everybody can hear what you say. And he's letting Pat have it. He said, you knew Magic's leg wasn't right and you didn't say anything. So they're bickering back and forth about this, and Pat can't get him to calm down, and he's starting to get mad, and he's saying that Magic is right. If we had Thompson instead of Nixon, we would be resting, meaning they would be gliding into the playoffs. These games wouldn't be hard for them. But now they're staring down at the barrel of elimination, because they might get kicked out of the playoffs. And now that was an earshot of Magic, Nixon, and Cooper. And Magic's trying to clean it up. But you probably said what he said. What he said you said. Oh, that's going to be a mess. And they're on the plane. Magic becomes very apologetic about the comment that he made. So they're at the game. And this is the fourth period of the game, and they're down by 1 with 15 seconds on the clock. And coach has them in the huddle. He's giving pointers. He's telling them the ball should go to one of 3 guys, if they're open. And what happens is Pat Riley kind of pulls Magic to the side, and he tells him that you're the guy. Because Paul didn't tell Magic he was one of the guys to shoot the ball. And Pat is doing this backhanded coaching, going against what his coach is telling the team to do. And he's telling Magic, you're the guy. You're the guy. I guess he believes in Magic and his magic, right? So coach has already said no hero ball. So Magic brings the ball down the court. And he's dribbling, passing behind his back and doing all that. And the other teammates are ball. They want the ball. They want to make plays. He's the only one with the ball. He hasn't given it to anybody else. And he goes down the court. He thinks he has the plays. Only 15 seconds on the clock. He shoots the ball, and it's an air ball. And they lose the game. And it looks like they're out of the playoffs because of Magic's air ball. So, whoa. I'm not sure if that really happened, but Magic. Oh, what a devastating loss. This show is so good. So I guess maybe they're telling us that in 1981 they didn't make it to through the playoffs to the finals, and maybe episode 3 we show them in the following basketball season. I'm thinking, I don't know, it's going to be interesting, but it was very exciting, still high energy, and just the plays that they do in basketball are very exciting to watch. um, it's a very good show. But that is it for now. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And check out my channel and other videos. I have season 1 of Winning Time. I have The Shy, Swagger, a TV series about basically on Kevin Durant's life, which is really, really good, and other TV and food and movie reviews. But that's it for now. I gotta go because I got living to do. Bye.